Tyler, you mentioned just how impressed you are by looking at a team warming up. I mean, you could do anything under head coach Ben McCollum's team, look at anything that you feel like, and just be awed by what they put out there.
Yeah, I think that just speaks to the tradition that is what the Bearcats are. You know, we were talking about before the game, the stats, just their resume coming into this one. Northwest, no matter what year you play them, you're going to get an impressive team.
Going back to the 2000-2001 season, Northwest Missouri State has only had 3 seasons under 500, spanning from 2008 to 2011. Tip one by the Gorillas, and Walker will bring it forward. Man defense shown by the Bearcats. Pittsburgh State needs to very much take care of the ball as the Bearcats definitely take away 184 steals as a team. That's the most in the MIAA. First offensive set for the Gorillas. Then ends up an air shot and an alley-oop dunk right there to Diego Bernard, and the high-flying theatrics of Northwest already on display.
You know, it really speaks whenever you come out and that's your first play of the game. It's really going to tell you that you're going to have to buckle down on the defensive end.
Score 2-0 here. Bearcats on top of the Gorillas. Far side now on the hands of Jacoby Womack. Trying to get into Givens. Givens going up against Luke Waters. He'll spin around, get blocked from behind by Ryan Hawkins. Hawkins, the total package Iron Man. He'll be out there for the majority of this game, averages nearly 23 points, has 7.5 rebounds per game, and can play outside. And you see him in the middle there just laying it in, and that's how easy it is for Ryan Hawkins.
He's a tall, lanky guy, and gets the defense in this Gorillas. He's matched up with against Antonio Givens. Givens, he's a big body player. He's a really great physical player, but the length and the height is just going to go to the Bearcats on this one.
Near side, A.J. Walker pump fake the three, try to get around Diego Bernard. He'll come back, have a screen set for him by Xavier Woolright, and A.J. Walker with a nice layup running the baseline.
A.J. Walker has really been, he has been the key player for the Gorillas since coming back after Christmas break. You know, he's been their leading scorer. He's been the guy that's really been the leader for this team.
Nice little jump stop right over Givens from Trevor Hudgens. Hudgens just a sophomore, but makes his impact known. 6 of 2 already. Just 2 minutes gone by in this game. Left side. Jacoby Womack will put on the floor. Now they get it once more back to Walker. Walker nearly loses his dribble. And you see the Bearcats clogging the lane right now. Walker, step around the defender, Welty, not there. And Xavier Womack somehow got free on the baseline. He'll put it back in.
Xavier Womack, he's been kind of flirting with that starting position all year. You know, he's been in basically that 6-man position. He's a big guy off the bench, but he's not really the tallest player. Hudgens right there off the glass, great layup. But back on Womack, he's a really good physical player. He's not the tallest, but he actually leads this team. He's one of the leaders in this team with offensive rebounds, so he's really physical, and he can get going whenever he needs to.
You look at all the stats that Northwest dominates. Rebounding, ironically, is not one of them. But when, as a team, you're shooting 53% from the floor,
there's not much rebounds you're going to have to get.
And there's an errant pass right through the hands of Jacoby Womack. Jacoby Womack not ready for that hard fastball from A.J. Walker. And it's a turnover by the Gorillas. Now Pittsburgh State needs to work hard to not become a statistic. As for Northwest, they will score nearly 20 points a game when you get them to turn the ball over. They commit a turnover themselves. Nice read by A.J. Walker. 8-4 here. Approaching the 5-minute played media timeout. Jump shot pulled up there by Ray Elliott, who checked in, not there. Now you'll see how Hudgens can run the offense. Wants to get it over to Hawkins. He'll eventually do so. Find Welty. And Luke Waters, after getting behind the arc, will be called for a travel.
See the Gorillas here on the defensive end. They're really pressuring that perimeter, but at the same time, that speed from the Bearcats there. It was just a simple cut inside for Waters, and he caught Givens slacking. And luckily got called for a travel.
State working it around now. Currently in the hands of Dejon Waters. Now they'll go low to to Givens, trying to body up Waters, and he'll be blocked by Waters. Givens, body-wise, is the biggest player out there on the floor, but both Luke Waters and Ryan Hawkins, a little taller than him, make it difficult for him down low. And there's an extra pass, finding Waters. Nice ball movement by the Bearcats.
They are so quick, not only on their feet, but moving the ball. These passes just seem to zip through the air with speed and velocity. It's hard to get your hand in front of it and really catch where it's going to land.
Elliott, defended by Hudgens. He'll step it out now to Xavier Adams. Xavier Adams pulls up the free throw, and he can't get it. Diego Bernard will pull the ball down, and he'll bring it up. Defended by Walker, his numerical counterpart. Double team, but Bernard's going to take himself. Late pass, just led Waters too much into the hands of Elliott. It's a 1-on-2. Elliott goes low, and he'll be blocked. A clean block by Hawkins, but Givens will clean up and bank it in.
That's one thing I talked about last game in the game against Mo West. Givens, he's a big player, but he's really slippery and really hard to find really underneath. And whenever he can get moving underneath on the rebounds, he's really tough to defend.
Ball put on the floor by Waters. He'll take it himself. He pump faked the three. That got the closeout defender off their feet, and no one from Pitt State rotated into the lane. An easy bucket. It's 12-6. Bearcats on top of the girls. Next stoppage, we should have a media timeout. Givens along the baseline. He'll spin toward the baseline and then draw the foul. Did a pump fake. He got Ryan Hawkins to come over the top. With that, we will have a media timeout for 1 minute. So we'll step aside for 1 minute, come back with more basketball. Currently, the #1 Bearcats lead the Gorillas 12-6. You are watching basketball here on the MIAA Network.
Jock Schnick Sporting Goods in downtown Pittsburgh is a proud supporter of Pitt State Athletics and Caps 13. Check out our Adidas gear, the official apparel of PSU Athletics. Pitt State students, faculty, and staff can save up to 40% on all Adidas items. PSU students also get 10% off all non-Adidas gear. Serving the Pittsburgh area since 1979, Jock Schnick Sporting Goods is the go-to place to support your local high school, college, and professional teams. Gear up for game day at the Niche. Jock Schnick Sporting Goods, your sports look of today.
Wetzel Court inside John Lance Arena. The #1 team in the nation, Northwest Missouri, leads Pittsburgh State 12-6. And it's been a frenetic and entertaining first 5 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, and I think the Gorillas are doing as much as they can on the defensive end against this Bearcats team. They're not doing a terrible job. It's just the off-ball defense needs to get a little better. The Gorillas really need to tighten down on those back cutters and those guys that are getting found down low for the Bearcats.
Antonio Givens, the second, is the Gorilla at the free throw line. A serviceable free throw shooter at 63.6%, and he makes the first one. Takes a deep breath as he gets ready for the second. And it's good. And he'll immediately be subbed out, replaced by Christian Edmondson. Getting a little words of encouragement and instruction. Head coach Kim Anderson. Pittsburgh State trying to run a full court press, broken easily by the athletic Bearcats. Now they're going back on the hunt. In the hand of Hawkins. Now to be Diego Bernard. Pick and roll, they're going to lead it into the lane for Waters. Waters will hold his ground, find Hawkins, and they're going to call a foul on the shot. Hawkins will head to the charity stripe here. This is against Jacoby Womack. First one from Hawkins is good. 76% free throw shooter. That helps him get to his 22.7 points per game. And this is the other. The score is 13-8. Northwest leading Pittsburgh State. Edmondson will set a screen. Going under it is Bernard. He's got the speed to recover, though, against A.J. Walker. But A.J. Walker, what a floater.
He's got a difficult shot badge underneath his belt. He really can make, if you give him enough space and you give him enough time, he can make those really difficult shots like that.
Hudgens ambles forward. A small screen set for him by Waters. Waters puts it on the floor. He'll go to the lane and be fouled. And I don't know if they're going to get Womack or Edmondson. And they say Edmondson, which you see right there coming from behind.
And already we've seen 2 fouls on the inside. I think that plays to the height of this Bearcats team. You're going to try to get as physical as you can with a player that's taller than you. And a lot of times you're just going to come up with that foul, so you really got to play smart defense.
And as you look at the 6'6" redshirt freshman Luke Waters, he's ready for his second free throw. It's up and good. Waters makes them both. And you talk about the height of this Bearcat team. Normally when you see a team that's this tall all the way around, you're going to have 1 or 2 guys that are a step slower or can't quite hang with some smaller guards like what Pitt State has. Not so with this Bearcat team.
It's just a bunch of gazelles running there on the floor. They really do all they can do, and it's Bearcats are a quintessential team that's just full of athletes. That's what they are. They can play multiple positions and run anywhere on the floor.
Trevor Hudgens will be whistled for a foul, pushing off against Walker. The shot clock will reset at 20. Walker behind the back pass to Edmondson. Lane. Edmondson lofts it over 2 trees and gets it to fall through. Now it's 15-12. Hudgens nearly trapped at half court, but once he gets across, Pitt State will drop into a standard man. Screen set by Hawkins. Hudgens, double clutch left hand, good. A truly phenomenal layup there by the sophomore guard. Pittsburgh State needs to respond offensively, but then some try to find an answer defensively. Xavier Womack, will run baseline. Reverse layup is up and down, good.
The girls are really attacking that inside. They've only taken 1 3-pointer on the day. They didn't make it. It was one put up by Ray Elliott. At the same time, they're really hammering the inside, trying to get the shots to go in the post.
3-point attempt in the near corner by Welty, no good. Rebound by Elliott. And then he is going to be fouled by Luke Waters.
The game now for Northwest, number 10.
Checking in for Northwest is going to be Wes Dreamer. See right there, Xavier Womack to inbound it. Puts it over to Walker. Walker has a screen set for him by Edmondson. He'll take it, runs the baseline, high off the glass, no good, much too powerful. That's an easy rebound for Hawkins. Hudgens, he'll take a screen from Hawkins, step back, thought about the 3, not there. Continue to working around, and before he can dribble, travel will be whistled against Hawkins. Oh no, they're calling a foul against Xavier Womack, and you see it right there. Just reached out a little too far and got a tad too much jersey to prevent the free layup by Hawkins. High post, it's Tyler Doherty. He'll do a pump fake to get Edmondson to leave his feet and then bank it in.
Those pump fakes down low are really killer. Edmondson, if he would have kept his feet, he probably would have had a better opportunity contesting that shot, maybe a miss. But once you leave your feet against a tall, athletic, leaky player, it's all over from there.
Walker, right now here to John Waters, Jacoby Womack, not there. Rebound pulled in by the Bearcats. Hudgens, go left side, jab step, 3 up from Hawkins, not there. 3-on-3, Elliott wants to go baseline, tries a late pass into Edmondson, and he didn't get it quick enough, allowed Ryan Welty to get in there and knock it away.
Just a tad bit earlier, and I think Edmondson would have had a good lane for a bucket because he had his defender on his back. He just needed to stretch his arm out. Elliott has just a little bit earlier.
Foul whistled against Jacoby Womack. Getting by Womack rather easily on the dribble was Hawkins. slapped the ball right out of his hand.
On the line for the Bearcats, this is Ryan Hawkins. He'll shoot 2.
Junior forward. Northwest at the free throw line. 6'7". Out of Atlantic, Iowa. That's a good one. Atlantic High School. Second free throw, good. It's now 21-14. And slowly but surely, the game is getting out of reach for Pittsburg State, and you're seeing why Northwest Missouri is the #1 team in the nation.
They're just able to space the floor. They've done a good job all game. They're actually passing it a little more inside than we really expected, but at the same time, the Gorillas can't really stop it. The only way they can't stop it is picking up fouls.
Elliott tries a spin around layup attempt. He can't get it. Wes Dreamer, straight out of 1973, pulls down the board with his hairstyle. Gets it over to Hudgens.
Hairstyle and name. I'd like to
True.
say.
That's true. Layup attempt by Hudgens, no good. Walker will pull it forward. He'll stop just beyond the free throw line and hit the backboard. And so Hudgens once more will bring it up. Under 10 minutes now. Next stoppage, we'll have a media timeout. Over to Hawkins. It's defended by Deshaun Waters. Hawkins loses the ball. It's on the floor, and they're going to call a jump ball. Possession will go to Northwest, and they will inbound it following this timeout. We'll step aside for 1 minute to score. Northwest Missouri 21, Pittsburg State 14, back in 60 seconds.
Jock Schnick Sporting Goods in downtown Pittsburgh is a proud supporter of Pitt State Athletics and Caps 13. Check out our Adidas gear, the official apparel of PSU Athletics. Pitt State students, faculty, and staff can save up to 40% on all Adidas items. PSU students also get 10% off all non-Adidas gear. Serving the Pittsburgh area since 1979, Jock Schnick Sporting Goods is the go-to place to support your local high school, college, and professional teams. Gear up for game day at the Niche. Jock Schnick Sporting Goods, your sports look of today.
I had no idea you did that.
We hear that a lot. You probably know that CDL is #1 in electrical services for your home and business. But we do so much more, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs and banners. So now you know. CDL is one company with so many solutions for your home or business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
The score here at Wetzel Court inside John Lance Arena, Northwest Missouri State 21, Pittsburgh State 14. If you are just joining us here on the MIAA Network, welcome. I'm Shelby White. My color commentator is Tyler Godwin. Back in our studio, our director, producer, and executive producer is Dr. Troy Como. And Tyler, this is a game where right out of the gate you saw the explosiveness and athleticism that the Bearcats possess, and they have not relented since.
Yeah, they've kept it going, up 7 here. The Gorillas have been playing. They've been playing a fairly well game so far. They're not down by much. 7 is a deficit that you can really come back with, especially with over 9 minutes left to go in the first half. But they've been going about it in a not necessarily a good way. They already have 14 fouls, so the first thing the Bearcats are really feeding the ball inside and trying to feed and work on those post players from the Gorillas, and almost immediately the Gorillas are picking up fouls.
Hawkins going against Drew Rawls, and that was a good job defensively, by Grant Harding. That was a good job there by Harding to body up the much taller Hawkins, but in the end it was knocked out of bounds. They say last touch by Harding. So fresh 30 on the shot clock for the Bearcats. Hudgens, one step to his right, 3 up and down, good.
Just a little space, that's all he needs. He got that space with that jab step right to the right. And he's starting out in this game, not as quick as we thought. He's only got 6 points, but really all he needs is just need a little bit of heat, and he's going to catch fire.
Elliott pulls up for a retaliatory 3. He can't get it. Fighting hard down there is Harding. He'll find it. Kick out 3 for Walker, not there. Elliott will pull it down now. So the Gorillas doing a decent job getting second and third chances, but they have yet to really take advantage of them. Walker trying to get some space. Kick out. Far corner 3. Deshaun Waters puts on the floor. They're going to work it around, try and find that open person. Elliott in the lane puts up a very contested shot. Had a wide open Walker in the corner, and it's a missed basket for the Gorillas. Bernard now, over between his legs. Get it out over to Dreamer. Continue working it into this near corner. Pump fake by Hudgens, who's guarded by Antonio Givens, and that is a terrible mismatch, even though Hudgens is just 6 feet.
I mean, Hudgens, he's got limitless range. That's what he's got. He doesn't need much contention to knock down that shot.
John Waters gets a screen from Givens. Going right, he'll lose it. Picked up by the Bearcats, and Pittsburgh State lucky there that it was lost the footing, did Daugherty. Otherwise, it would have been a breakaway dunk most likely for Northwest, but now there's a foul underneath the basket.
It didn't really look like Hudgens wanted to take that shot. It looked like it was a little bit forced. I think he knew that once he put it up. But he's going to take a few of those because this Gorillas defense, they're going to give him enough space. He's going to be able to put up upwards of 5 3-pointers in this game.
Hawkins spins around, and one opportunity coming for Ryan Hawkins. Nice move there, little shoulder fake to the left, and then spun around to the baseline, drew the contact against Harding.
Now, I like what Coach Anderson is doing. He's rotating the bodies down low. Now in the game, he's got Harding playing post. I mean, Edmondson's already got 1 foul. Womack's got 2, and Jacoby and Xavier Womack both have 1 foul each. So he's rotating the bodies down low, trying to keep fresh bodies in the post. You just really have to put your athletes down there on the Bearcats.
Score now 30-14 following the 3-point play by Hawkins. Walker gets a screen set for him by Xavier Womack. Not able to get any space. Jab step, Elliott, 3, good. Ray Elliott, a big-time 3 and much needed.
One thing we haven't talked about is the 3-point shooting ability from this Gorillas team. You know, last game out, they did lose to Missouri Western. Lost that one 95-79. One of the reasons was they were not hot from behind the arc. And that's one thing, if they can get the shots going from 3-point line today, then they can keep this close.
Left corner for Welty. They get it back out to Dreamer. Diego Bernard, he'll run, step back, pass over to Hudgens for 3, good. And Trevor Hudgens just making it rain from another area code.
There's really nothing you can do other than just shake your head. Hudgens out there, he's the best athlete on the floor, best player, and he's going to get whatever he's given.
Elliott takes a screen from Xavier Womack. He wanted to get it to Womack, but tough defense prevented it. John Waters wants to break down Welty. Get it out to Womack. Womack nearly lost it. Back over to Elliott. 6 seconds on the shot clock, but Third State's got to do something. Running shot by Ray Elliott, able to bank it in high off the glass.
Ray Elliott is one of these players for the Gorillas that once he's hot and once he gets going, and he's a really good player, it's just far in between whenever you can get him going on the offensive side.
Hudgens drove in the lane, wanted to pass out to Dreamer. Quick hands by Givens, by Waters prevented that. Long 3 from Elliott. That was a heat check 3, and it just swirled off. Not necessarily a bad idea from Elliott. As you said, he's a streaky shooter, but when you're down by 14 against a team like this, sometimes you need to try and work the offense a little more.
Yeah, you need to kind of take the shots that you think that can get the offense going, and that was one of the shots Elliott would have made that, but I think that would have just sparked this offense and they would have started working better. But at the same time, it's a shot that you really could have taken a smarter shot.
Give and go between Hudgens and Bernard. Work to perfection with the shot clock winding down. And when a team can do something like that with 3 seconds on the shot clock, it's a tough day for you.
And it helps whenever you have a player like Hudgens. You don't see players with that much speed off of an off-ball cut, especially at that guard position. He's able to see any space that you give him and make an immediate cut inside of the basket.
Walker, high layup off the glass, not there. What an athletic rebound by Xavier Womack. And he'll be fouled on the putback.
Listed against number 10.
That was just because Dreamer left his feet much too early for the layup.
Xavier Womack. He'll have 2 shots.
Xavier Womack at the free throw line here. Try and keep this a somewhat manageable game as he does, making the first. .66 junior forward for the Gorillas out of St. Louis, Missouri, who comes here courtesy of Johnson County Community College. Womack makes the second.
And the game of his day, Christian Edmondson.
Christian Edmondson will check in now for Xavier Womack. And you see, as you mentioned, the rotations of posts for this Pittsburgh State team.
And it's kind of interesting because that's one of the positions where the Gorillas kind of lacks the athleticism at that post. So it's interesting. You could be throwing players out there that aren't used to playing it, but at the same time, you're going to throw whatever you can to try and disrupt this Bearcats team.
Hudgens. Good jab step. Kick it out over to Hawkins. Hawkins thought about the three. Back to Hudgens. 4 seconds on the shot clock. He runs the lane and will be fouled, and it bounces off the rim. And so he'll go to the free throw line when we come back from this commercial break. The score, Northwest Missouri State 35, Pittsburgh 21, back in 1 minute.
Freaky fast sub-race. You'll be racing down the court to build a...
Run with us on a John Deere X300 series mower, because seasons may change, but true character doesn't.
Wow, you outdone yourself this time.
What are neighbors for?
It's beautiful.
Nothing runs like a Deere.
Stop by our dealership for special offers taking place for a limited time. Get great deals and service on legendary John Deere equipment.
Well, when I woke up in the hospital, the only thing I knew for sure was I was told a little boy was in ICU clinging to life. The biggest dread was knowing that there's nothing I can do about it now. Had I just listened to my dad, had I made the right choices, my victims wouldn't be in the situation they're in, and I wouldn't sit here with this feeling of guilt for what I've done. You drink, you drive, and you will lose. I did.
The score here in Pittsburgh, this afternoon MIAA contest, the #1 Northwest Missouri State Bearcats up 35-21 over host Pittsburgh State. And Tyler, as I bring you in, you mentioned it off air, you know you are a good player when half the team tries to block your shot.
I mean, and especially whenever Hudgens, he's only 6 feet tall, so his height not really limiting him here in this game, and he put up that floater. You saw, I believe it was Edmondson, Walker, and Womack went up trying to go block that floater, and he was already going to go to the line for free throws in the first place.
He'll be shooting 2.
Trevor Hudgens has a pair incoming. The southpaw puts it up, and he hit the front of the rim. Somewhat unnatural for the sophomore guard out of Manhattan, Kansas. He makes his free throws at an 88% clip, but he makes the adjustment there. Pittsburgh State has done a decent job keeping this a contest to where with one good run, both offensively and defensively, they can have a chance, but you commit errors like that, and that's going to go away real fast.
Yeah, it could be, you know, maybe the girls are just thinking a little bit too much in the offensive end. They're trying to get a little too fancy, trying to get into these Bearcats.
The thing that happens when you play a team with talent that Northwest does is it really forces you to play above your level, and sometimes you try and force the things to do that. Other times you let it come naturally.
I think having this game so much later in the year makes it so much tougher for the girls. They're doing a lot of things that they haven't had to do all year and playing athletes that you really have to combat.
Basket there made underneath by Tyler Doherty. Wide open, flashing through the lane were both Elliott and Edmondson. Neither one got it. Walker behind the back pass over to Xavier Womack. He'll pull up from just inside the three-point line. It bounces around right to Doherty. And the Bearcats once again looking to add on to this lead. An extended 2-1-2 zone being run by Pittsburgh State. Now turning into a man, and Edmondson beat off the dribble by Ryan Hawkins. Edmondson, much like Antonio Givens, a little beefier than Hawkins, but Hawkins much taller and much quicker.
It's really the speed that matters. You know, you can have that height and have that build, but as long as you're tough and you're fast, then there's not really a lot of players who can be able to beat you.
John Waters loses the dribble to Hawkins. Now the Bearcats up. Once more trying to take advantage of a turnover by Pittsburgh. Left side, Hawkins, three, nothing but net. And with that, head coach Kim Anderson is going to call a timeout with 2:50 remaining on the clock. The Bearcats up 43-21. They went on a burst coming out of that media timeout.
Yeah, and it was really just them just shooting the ball lights out. The Bearcats are stretching the ball so well on the offensive end that the Gorillas can't really find out what to do.
30-second timeout taken by Coach Anderson, so we'll keep it here inside John Lance Arena at Wetzel Court. Here, this game between the Bearcats and the Gorillas. Northwest looking to repeat as not only MIAA champions, but also the Division II champions. You see right there Trevor Hudgens, the talented sophomore guard out of Manhattan, Kansas. And here's how well Northwest has been in the last 7 years. You go back to the 2011-2012 season. They have been the MIAA Conference champions 6 times and won 2 national titles in that period.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, it's the Bearcats. They just have a good culture, and most of it's built by their head coach and their school that they have. You know, when you're a school that all you know is winning, you're just going to keep building on that culture.
Prestige gets you some of the best players, and some of the best players get you prestige. Edmondson splits a double team, throws an elbow underneath to try and get some space. Missed the first, but got his own rebound and puts it back in.
I think the officials are looking at these two teams. You look at a team who's desperate for a win, and you're looking for another team of the Bearcats who are relying to capitalize on a 14-game win streak. I think they're going to let them be just a little bit physical.
As long as it's nothing egregious, I agree with you. In the hands of Welty, now pass it off to Hudgens. Trying to post up on Womack was Hawkins. Couldn't quite do so. 7 seconds. Hudgens will take it himself. Get it over to Doherty. Doherty spin around jumper, not there. Fighting for the rebound were both Xavier Womack and Edmondson. Eventually Xavier Womack gets it. Walker splits a double team high off the glass, not there. Rebound by Doherty. Pittsburgh State here running into desperation mode at the end of the first half. Wide open on the baseline, Diego Bernard. And there you see what happens when you get into desperation mode and you forget to play defense.
It's not, I mean, they forget to play defense, and at the same time, you cannot keep your eyes. If your star player is a point guard on the defensive end, you cannot keep your eyes on that player the whole time because someone's going to make that cut down low, and there was nobody around him whenever he made that layup.
Hudgens to Bernard, an extra quick pass inside to Doherty. Doherty fakes in the lane and then spins baseline, banks it in. It's 47-23 now. And Northwest is starting to roll. Walker, right side to Elliott. Now to Waters, under 1 minute to go in this first half. Pittsburgh State looking for anything they can use as some sort of positive momentum going into the locker room. Elliott has a screen set for him by Edmondson. He doesn't take it. Now he loses the ball, taken away by Bernard. It's a 2-on-2. Bernard going to try and outrun Elliott. What a layup. Taking it down with a double clutch below his waist and then still laying it up with ease. That is sheer athleticism.
I think we just saw a man float. That was defying gravity. His vertical was just insane on that layup. He floated there. Beautiful layup.
And Coach Kim Anderson there, frustrated and just staring off into space as to what he just witnessed. A.J. Walker, 10 seconds. He'll call out the play now on the shot clock. There's a 5-second in between it and game clock. Left corner, Elliott for 3, rattles around, not there. Loose ball, eventually going to be taken down by Hawkins. Or excuse me, by Hawkins. He'll run it himself, lay it in. No, offensive foul. Nice job getting back on defense by Dejon Waters.
And that's one of the really good things that Waters is good at. He's really good at noticing whenever people are just going full steam ahead in transition. Did a good job setting his feet, picking up that charge there.
Wes Dreamer will check in for the final 0.2 of a second here in the first half. It's inbounded to Walker, and immediately the buzzer sounds. So we go into halftime. The score, Northwest Missouri State 49, Pittsburgh State 23. Back after this break with analysis of the first half and get you ready for this second half. You are watching Gorilla Basketball on the MIAA Network.
Jock Snook Sporting Goods in downtown Pittsburgh is a proud supporter of Pitt State Athletics and Caps 13. Check out our Adidas gear, the official apparel of PSU Athletics. Pitt State students, faculty, and staff can save up to 40% on all Adidas items. PSU students also get 10% off all non-Adidas gear. Serving the Pittsburgh area since 1979, Jock Snitch Sporting Goods is the go-to place to support your local high school, college, and professional teams. Gear up for game day at the Niche. Jock Snitch Sporting Goods, your sports look of today.
Commerce Bank, the bank that backs the Gorillas. Commerce Bank, proud sponsor of Pittsburgh State football. Go Gorillas! From your friends at Commerce Bank, member FDIC.
I had no idea you did that.
We hear that a lot. You probably know that CDL is #1 in electrical services for your home and business. But we do so much more, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs and banners. So now you know. CDL is one company with so many solutions for your home or business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Life moves fast. In all the activity, we rarely stop to prepare for any curveballs. Imagine something terrible happening and not getting the right help because you don't have the proper insurance. That's where we come in. Wood Doolahary Insurance is here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. It costs the same to let us help you as it would cost to find your own insurance. And we don't use cookie-cutter plans. We find the proper plan for you. We are Wood Doolahary Insurance, helping you navigate a fast-paced life.
Looking for a hotel in Pittsburgh? Experience the new look and feel at the Comfort Inn and Suites. Professional service, cozy accommodations, and a delicious breakfast featuring our famous waffles await at our pet-friendly, newly renovated location. Go Gorillas!
We are live here at Letzel Courtside John Lance Arena. We're currently the #1 team in the nation, Northwest Missouri State Bearcats are leading the Pittsburgh State Gorillas 49-23. If you are just joining us here on the MIAA Network, we welcome you. I'm Shelby White, my color commentator Tyler Godwin. And Tyler, this has been a clinical performance on behalf of the Bearcats.
The Gorillas came out, I'm going to give them their credit. They came out and they played pretty athletic in the first around 10 minutes of the game, but after that last minute timeout, it's really been all Bearcats. The Bearcats ended the half on a 6-0 run in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. and they actually ended on a 14-3 run in the last 5 minutes. So it's really been all Bearcats. The Gorillas just can't get anything going on the offensive end.
The defense of Northwest Missouri State absolutely stymieing any offensive tries by Pittsburg State. And because of that, Pittsburg State then has just kind of been compounded as they have been looking at just forcing shots. Take a look here at how this game has gone, and you just really see the dominance of Northwest.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep saying it because it's really, this is why they're so good at what they do. They're just so good at spreading the ball and getting everybody the ball. They only have 2 players who haven't scored a bucket in that first half in Welty and Dreamer. Everyone else has at least 6 points in that lineup for the Bearcats. On the other side for the Gorillas on the defensive end, what the Bearcats are doing, they are really limiting the Gorillas. The Gorillas are 30% from field goal. They are 9 of 30. They've only made 9 buckets. 1 of those is from beyond the arc. Their best stat is they are 4 for 4 from the free throw line. They have really limited the Gorillas on both sides of the floor.
Take a look here as you're just seeing the utter dominance of the Bearcats. And as you said, only 2 players have not scored. You count it here, 4, now 5. There's that phenomenal layup right there.
And one thing that also points out a stat, that one was coming off a steal. You talked about it at the beginning of the game that the Bearcats are great scoring off turnovers, and the Bearcats already have 12 points off of 6 turnovers for the Gorillas. 6 turnovers isn't a lot, but when you score 12, that means they've scored at least 1 bucket off each turnover.
Averaging nearly 20 points on the season coming into today, and they are continuing to do so. And not only with those steals that you mentioned, that are turnovers, I guess you said they forced. When they look at the forced turnovers, they have forced nearly 8 a game in the MIAA, and they're only in second place because of mathematical rounding. They trail Central Missouri by 3/100ths of a turnover when you look at it. Take a look at the stats here. The scores we said: Northwest 49, Pittsburg State 23. The big thing here, fouls for me. 5 fouls committed by Northwest, 7 committed by Pittsburg State. Rebounds 17 for the Bearcats, 11 for the Gorillas. And you talked about the shooting, the Bearcats being highly efficient, but that foul range, it's really telling the fact that Northwest really hasn't been able to convert as much of the free throw line as you would expect, with the Gorillas committing 7 fouls.
And I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to look at where these fouls have come from. They have most of them, other than the 2 fouls on Jacoby Womack and the 1 on Dion Waters. The rest of those fouls have come from the post. They have 1 foul on Xavier Womack, 1 on Elliott, 1 on Hardy, and 1 on Edmondson, and a foul on Givens. So it just means the Gorillas, the Bearcats are getting the ball inside. The Gorillas are trying to do whatever they can to stop the Bearcats from getting a bucket, and most of them end up in fouls.
We'll step aside for another break, come back on the other side and get you set for the second half. You are watching basketball here on the MIAA Network.
Jock Snook Sporting Goods in downtown Pittsburgh is a proud supporter of Pitt State Athletics and Caps 13. Check out our Adidas gear, the official apparel of PSU Athletics. Pitt State students, faculty, and staff can save up to 40% on all Adidas items. PSU students also get 10% off all non-Adidas gear. Serving the Pittsburgh area since 1979, Jock Snitch Sporting Goods is the go-to place to support your local high school, college, and professional teams. Gear up for game day at the Niche. Jock Snitch Sporting Goods, your sports look of today.
Commerce Bank, the bank that backs the Gorillas. Commerce Bank, proud sponsor of Pittsburg State football. Go Gorillas! From your friends at Commerce Bank, member FDIC.
I had no idea you did that.
We hear that a lot. You probably know that CDL is #1 in electrical services for your home and business. But we do so much more, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs and banners. So now you know, CDL is one company with so many solutions for your home or business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Life moves fast. In all the activity, we rarely stop to prepare for any curveballs. Imagine something terrible happening and not getting the right help because you don't have the proper insurance. That's where we come in. Wood Doolahary Insurance is here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. It costs the same to let us help you as it would cost to find your own insurance. And we don't use cookie-cutter plans. We find the proper plan for you. We are Wood Doolahary Insurance, helping you navigate a fast-paced life.
Back here to Wetzel Court inside John Lance Arena. I'm Shelby White. Alongside me, Tyler Godwin. Tyler, you are seeing a #1 team in true firing form today.
Yeah, and I mean, the Gorillas really can't, they've done all they can do to stop it, and it's just, this team is one of the fastest and one of the longest teams I've seen all year, and the Gorillas are doing all they can to stop them. You look at the score, it really just tells you what type of team they're playing.
And you look at how they've done on the road. Typically, you see a team that doesn't do well on the road. Northwest Missouri 6-1 when they've hit the road. Their one loss was on December 7th to Central Missouri. They lost to the Mules in that contest 82-70, but they quickly rectified that by beating the Mules at home 81-47. And then if you look at Pittsburg State, typically a home court is where a team feels they're comfortable with. They are 5-7 when they are playing here at Wetzel Court, and so it's difficult to get anything going when you aren't comfortable where you play half your games.
And I think some of that comes with the games that the Gorillas have played all year. We've seen them play really close games all year. A lot of their games have been decided between really close to 10 points, and obviously this game is not that. But I mean, you've seen the Gorillas have had a tough year at home all season.
Pittsburg State out there warming up, trying to make this somewhat more manageable as they are currently down by 26, trailing the Bearcats 49-23. And for them, they're going to need a lot of help to get going there. So Christian Edmondson, as well as Jacoby Womack, a couple of their post players who they really need to have step up. There's head coach Kim Anderson. The intensity for Anderson is ratcheted up. He has lost his sport coat, going slippery with the sweater right now.
I'm not sure what's redder, his face or his sweater.
He is very frustrated, so it's most likely his face, I would say, with how his team has performed. I mean, yes, you can chalk part of the performance up to you're taking on the #1 team under head coach Ben McCullum, who you see there on the right side of your screen in the dress shirt and the alternating green and silver tie. But on the other hand, Pittsburgh State's really been shooting themselves in the foot. They've taken some ill-advised shots when they've been having some decent opportunities.
They just don't look like themselves in the offensive end. They look out of sorts. They look like they're trying to force things. They look like they're not really running the offense that they're used to running.
Possession arrow is with Pittsburgh State, so they will inbound it to start this second half. Starting five out there for both teams. It's Xavier Womack, A.J. Walker, Jacoby Womack, as well as Dejon Waters and Antonio Givens for Pittsburgh State. For Northwest Missouri, take a look at the records there. Northwest Missouri 23-1 overall, 13-1 in the MIAA. Pittsburgh State 9-14 overall, and 5-9 in conference. Foul there off ball whistled against Diego Bernard. It's Bernard, Hudgens, Ryan Hawkins, Ryan Welty, as well as Luke Waters for the Bearcats. Kobe Womack pulls up for three over Bernard, bounces off, no good. He'll go out of bounds, last touched by Givens. And he had the space, but once again, just kind of forcing up an unnecessary three there.
Yeah, it's really not, I mean, you still had plenty of time on the shot clock to really draw something up and make something work.
What a beautiful no-look pass from Diego Bernard deep in the post to Luke Waters.
It's another one of those cases where the Gorillas are just pressuring that perimeter, trying to force turnovers, and they're leaving the lane wide open.
Walker, jab step, and he'll spin back to the near side to protect the ball. After working around, it ends up in the hands of Givens down low, trying to go against Hawkins. He'll spin baseline and just got a little too far underneath as it was blocked by the rim in the backboard. Hudgens up to Hawkins. Hawkins, long legs, makes it for an easy layup.
You have a player who can take 2 steps and then find themselves in the lane. It's just even harder to defend.
Pittsburgh State now down by 30. And unlike in high school, there is no running clock when you find yourself down by 30 plus. Waters, kick back out to Jacoby Womack for three, circles the rim. Board going to be eventually corralled by Hawkins. Good hustle there by both Givens and Xavier Womack. Stronger hands prevail with Hawkins. One hand pass, right side, three, not there. That was attempted by Waters. And then a jump ball going to be whistled, and Ryan Hawkins can't believe that. Take another look. Xavier Womack got his hand in there just in the nick of time, I would say.
Yeah, he got there, I guess, just enough to disrupt it enough and pick up a foul.
Inbound, up, no good. And so the Bearcats can't capitalize. Tucker will hand it off to Ray Elliott. Screen set for him by Edmondson. Both Elliott and Edmondson checked in just a second ago. John Waters nearly losing it, wants to feed it and lead his teammate Xavier Womack down low, does so, and Womack now will draw a foul.
I think the Gorillas are trying to give Bearcats a little taste of their own medicine, get a couple backdoor cuts. They've actually been trying to do that a few times earlier on in the game, but it just looks like whoever gets that pass on the block is trying to force that and make that backdoor cut their primary pass, leading them to think that that's their only option they have. But you don't have to make that pass. You can take it back out and reset.
Womack makes the first free throw.
Again for the Bearcats, number 32,
Tyler Doherty will check in. Womack, as I mentioned earlier, a 6'6" junior transfer from Johnson County Community College. Second free throw hits the front of the rim, and fighting for it with both Hawkins and Doherty. Doherty eventually pulls it in. There you see the talented sophomore, Trevor Hudgens, out of Manhattan, Kansas. Hudgens to his left, now he'll pass it out to the right. And through about 3 minutes and only 2 baskets have been made. Backdoor cut by Hudgens, he'll use the left hand as he got by his defender, Ray Elliott.
Again, it's the first step he has. He's able to just take that quick step inside, and once he sees that he has enough space on that defender, he's just going to keep going.
Not many players can keep up with him in the quickness or speed category. 16 seconds on the shot clock. Elliott, jab step, gets some space. He'll step up and pull up over Diego Bernard. That's swirled around the rim by all right, should have gone down, instead spits out. Hudgens, screen set by Hawkins. Trying to go back to Hawkins, but he doesn't. Instead finds Doherty. Doherty will run the lane, be fouled by Christian Edmondson. And with 16:49 to go, foul trouble for the posts of Pittsburg State is really becoming an issue.
And that is, I guess, the danger, you could say, of rotating all these post guys so soon, is you end up throwing those guys in, and you tell them to stop them. Just whatever you do, stop them. But whenever you get multiple players in foul trouble at the same position, you run thin. You run out of things you have to do.
Checking in for the first time this game, Peyton Holloway. Free throw is up and off the mark. No good. Now A.J. Womack, he'll run. Little circus layup, not there. Board pulled down by Doherty. Quickly up floor, it's Hawkins, 2-on-1. Hawkins will go in the middle lane, kick out. Hudgens for three, nothing but net.
There's no doubt when you give a lefty a three-pointer that deep and that open, it's instinct.
With that, the lead creeps up to 35. Pittsburg State trying to do whatever they can to find some space. Waters for three, not there. And everyone from Pittsburg State conceding the board to Diego Bernard. Three on the far side, taken by Ryan Hawkins, and Hawkins buries it.
That's two players for the Bearcats who have 20-plus points. Hawkins has exactly 20, and Hudgens has 23. There's no stopping these guys right now.
And here's the thing, those aren't just the focal points of this offense.
No.
Anyone who gets the ball for this Bearcats team can and will score. A.J. Walker will run the baseline and use the right hand to flip it over the rim. It's now 62-26, but not for long as Hawkins will draw the foul. I don't know if we're going to say it was on the floor or give him an and one opportunity.
In the game for Pitt State, Jacoby Womack.
And they are giving him the bucket, so it's an and one opportunity coming for Hawkins. I think Jacoby Womack will check in.
I think Hawkins and Hutchins are kind of having a little bit of a battle here themselves to see who's going to be the leading scorer in this game, because it seems like every time Hawkins gets a bucket, Hutchins takes one back. Every time Hutchins gets one, Hawkins takes one back. So I think we have two different competitions going on between the Gorillas and the Bearcats.
Said how Hawkins, who you saw go to the bench there, is an Iron Man, 23 points, shoots at 57% from the field, pulls up from behind the arc 47%, and then 76% at the free throw line. But now we'll see if Hudgens can go one up on Hawkins with Hawkins on the bench. He gets a screen set from Wes Dreamer, who replaced Hawkins. Backdoor cut, beautiful done from the corner. Easy bucket from Tyler Doherty.
Another backdoor cut. They just stay in that corner until they find just enough space, and they're so fast that you don't even see them making that cut to the bucket.
Far corner, Xavier Womack, he'll spin around and then draw the reach-in foul from Tyler Doherty. And with that, we will go to the 5-minute expired media timeout. So we'll step aside for 60 seconds, come back with more basketball here between the Bearcats and the Gorillas. Currently, Northwest Missouri State leading Pittsburg State 67-26. Back in 1 minute.
Jock Snook Sporting Goods in downtown Pittsburgh is a proud supporter of Pitt State Athletics and Caps 13. Check out our Adidas gear, the official apparel of PSU Athletics. Pitt State students, faculty, and staff can save up to 40% on all Adidas items. PSU students also get 10% off all non-Adidas gear. Serving the Pittsburgh area since 1979, Jock Snitch Sporting Goods is the go-to place to support your local high school, college, and professional teams. Gear up for game day at the Niche. Jock Snitch Sporting Goods, your sports look of today.
Northwest Missouri proving why they have that designation here. They're up 67-26 over Pittsburg State. 5 minutes have gone by in this second half. You're just joining us here on the MIAA Network, we welcome you. I am Shelby White, my color commentator Tyler Godwin, and Tyler, we basically said that at this point it's the Trevor Hudgens and Ryan Hawkins show, as these two are trying to one-up each other, and now there's going to be some subbing, or lack thereof, for the Gorillas. A.J. Walker wanted to be subbed out. Instead, he'll feed it inside to Jacoby Womack. And Jacoby Womack gets the bucket. No call, though, and Coach Anderson upset about that. Hudgens, ended by Elliott. Pass it out to the left side to Bernard. Dreamer set up a pick and roll. Didn't get fed, though. Bernard inside. Walker takes it away. Kick out, though, to Dreamer. Dreamer's three just short. Ball going to bounce around. Eventually be pulled in by Jacoby Womack. Jacoby Womack tries to make something happen. No look bounce pass inside to Xavier Womack. Xavier Womack will be fouled on the block and head to the line for two.
It's a good pass from Womack to Womack, and that's really where Xavier Womack really likes to do his work. He likes to camp out on that block and just wait for the right opportunity and make a cut inside.
Well, Xavier Womack has 2 free throws upcoming. And he makes the first after it hangs up on the front of the rim for a while. Jalen Justice, a freshman out of New Hope, Minnesota, will check in now for Walker. Xavier Walker's second free throw. Xavier Womack's second free throw is good. 67-30 in this game. Northwest Missouri trying to cement that 1 seed in the MIAA. Currently they lead the tiebreaker over Missouri Southern after beating them on Thursday. Layup attempt missed there by the Bearcats. Elliott will run in. His shot will be blocked by Bernard. Goes to Xavier Womack, and Xavier Womack draws the contact and the foul. So once more, Xavier Womack ends up at the free throw line.
Another offensive rebound, another opportunity for Xavier Womack. He is really cementing himself as kind of the spark plug for this Gorillas team whenever they need it. He's doing all the dirty work, and he's really doing it. You know, you look at Xavier Womack, you look at a guy who you don't really expect to be a guy who just is a rebound grabber and an inside, threat, but that's really what he is.
Long conversation. Head coach Kim Anderson with the official on the far side. Now Womack will get the ball and be ready for his free throws. First one is up and rattles around and out. This end of the season, very important for Pittsburg State, as all 5 of their games are against teams that are ahead of them in the MIAA standings. Currently, Pittsburg State ranked 10th. They're tied with Fort Hays, but the Gorillas do own the tiebreaker. We'll play Northwest Missouri twice, today and the next Saturday in Maryville. They travel to Missouri Western on Wednesday, and they close out against Lincoln and Central Missouri at home in 2 weeks. Bernard will drive the lane and be fouled by the recently entered Justice.
I mean, you've seen it right here already. Coach Kim Anderson, he's scratching the bench. He's bringing in guys that we haven't seen in a long time. We haven't seen really a lot of these players in a few games. And whenever you get a team in foul trouble, you really start to bring those jerseys off the bench.
Jalen Justice just in his 6th game this year. Only averages about 7 minutes whenever he does hit the floor. Diego Bernard makes the free throw. And he will be checked out for Derek Lang. Derek Lang, D-A-R-I-C, Lang, L-A-I-N-G.
This is like a Marvel character. I know Scott Lang is the Marvel character.
Ant-Man, man.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
He's the fun character. Left side, Jacoby Womack. He'll pass up to Xavier Womack. Xavier Womack nearly travels. Gets it back to Jacoby Womack. Lofted shot, up and down, good. Makes it 68-33. There's Trevor Hudgens. He leads all scorers. 23 points. Tied with Hawkins. Doherty with the ball. And have it poked away from behind by Jacoby Womack. And Jacoby Womack, as well as Ethan Holloway, can't believe that they said that ball was last touched by Pittsburg State. And from that replay, They have an argument, I think. Go behind the arc, right back to Hudgens, out of the hand of Doherty. Just trying to break down Elliott. A couple of crossovers. Back it out, 5 seconds, fade away, good. How can you defend that?
That's one of the fastest shimmy shakes I've ever seen. You're able to get your defender off balance whenever he's in front of you and to turn around and just get a simple step forward, just enough for you to get that floater to go.
That is a shot you see in a video game. Justice lofts up a 2, not there. At the back of the rim, right to Hudgens. Hudgens, he's ambles forward, now will pick it up. Now he'll slow it down just a bit more. Doherty in the corner for Welty is good. Ryan Welty makes it 73-33.
All these players for the Bearcats are starting to blend together for me, and Welty, Waters, Hawkins. I can't really tell who's hitting these three-pointers at this point.
Elliott attempts a 2, long 3, he didn't have it. More to be pulled down by Lang. Lang goes to his left to Welty, now to Dreamer, back to Welty. Welty has a wide open base, kick it out to Lang on the far baseline. He'll drive in, work it out to Doherty, defended by Hollowell. Oh, what a move. Didn't get the finish, but what a move. And jump ball, and they're going to be a foul. They're calling, I think, against Doherty there following the replay. And they are. They say Doherty went over Hollowell just a bit for the rebound attempt. That is the 6th team foul by Northwest. So one more, and Pittsburg State will be shooting free throws throughout the rest of the game. Antonio Givens the second. I'll check in for Ethan Holloway.
It's interesting because we've seen Givens on the bench pretty much this whole second half. He actually does not have any personal fouls. He's the only true post player that's been on the bench this entire time for the Gorillas with no fouls.
Ray Elliott will draw a foul outside the lane, and so he'll go to the free throw line for a pair. Wes Dreamer, I believe, is who they whistle for that foul.
Too much contact, Boogie Knights, too much.
Elliott, first free throw up and down, good. So it's 73-34. Pittsburg State really trying here to make this game look a little better on the scorecard. Second one bounces around and out, and Dreamer pulls it down. Get it over to Hudgens. Hudgens has a screen set for him by Waters. He'll get it back to Waters. Now Waters will run the lane left hand, up and down, good, getting around Antonio Givens, and I think that's why you saw Givens on the bench.
It's just he's limited on the defensive end. It's really odd to see.
Blocked from behind by Welty, excuse me. Clean block right there. As driving the lane was Jacoby Womack, but didn't get a free shot off. Justice will take a seat. Elliott with it. Goes to his left in the corner for A.J. Walker, who checked in for Justice. Posting up is Givens, trying to get around his man Waters. He does so spinning the baseline, and a double clutch, soft touch off the glass.
He is a very athletic player. You know, we talk about what maybe his body type might limit him to, but at the same time, he's very quick, and he does a good job of concentrating through contact, especially when he puts up tough buckets like that.
10:30 to go. Nearing the under 10 media timeout. Hudgens for 3, good.
You're starting to see why this is a team that lost to Duke by 3 points earlier in the season.
And not just lost to Duke. If I remember correctly, they lost at Duke,
yes,
by 3. That is incredible, the talent that this team has, that it rivals one of the premier D1 schools of all time.
Not even just to have a score like that, but Northwest, that just talks to you also about the culture that they have and what the program they build. Duke said, we would like to play you.
Yes.
Come play us at our place.
Layup attempt no good from Waters. Rebounded by the Gorillas. And I think something else that it also says about that, not the culture that Duke wants to play them, to only lose by 3, the culture that Northwest has says, oh, you're Duke? Duke who?
Yep.
Running in the middle of the lane, Jacoby Womack, he misses his shot, tries to get his own layup, is going to be fouled from behind. And that will take us to the under 10 media timeout. And Luke Waters pushed Jacoby Womack to the floor on the rebound. So we'll step aside for 60 seconds, come back with more basketball here between the Bearcats and the Girls. But currently Northwest Missouri State leads Pittsburgh State 78-36. Back after this on the MIAA Network.
Commerce Bank, the bank that backs the Gorillas. Commerce Bank, proud sponsor of Pittsburgh State football. Go Gorillas! From your friends at Commerce Bank, member FDIC.
Gorilla Country is your one-stop shop for everything Pitt State, from apparel for the family, decorative items for the home, and auto accessories. Check out our Facebook for special events and hours. Gorilla Country, 104 East Kansas Street, Pittsburgh, Kansas. Go Gorillas!
I had no idea you did that.
We hear that a lot. You probably know that CDL is #1 in electrical services for your home and business. But we do so much more, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs and banners. So now you know. CDL is one company with so many solutions for your home or business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Here at Wetzel Court inside John Lance Arena, the score Northwest Missouri 78, Pittsburgh State 636. I'm Shelby White, joining me Tyler Godwin. And Tyler, we were talking off air about what this score could be. Jacoby Womack at the line for a 1-and-1. Last year, when these two teams met in Maryville, the Bearcats put up 111 on the Gorillas and beat them 111-83. We are well on the way to see the Bearcats score 111. I'm not so sure the Gorillas will get to 83.
They're going to really have to buckle down.
Womack makes them both. That was the only meeting between the two teams last year. Now, Northwest wanting to add to it. Diego Bernard will sling it out to Dreamer. Dreamer for three, not there. Ball tipped around, eventually ends up into the hands of Welty. He'll pass it out to Bernard. Pump fake by Lang. Lang wanted to hit a cut from the corner by Dreamer, but didn't happen. So now Lang comes to North of Missouri out of Charlton, Iowa. Diego Bernard reverse layup. Oh, didn't fall. And Diego Bernard has two of the most athletic layup attempts we've seen all year. 3-point from Jacoby Womack is good. Makes it 78-41, but, there should be 78-41, yes. But I want to go back to that layup attempt by Diego Bernard.
I was bracing myself. I was ready for that layup because he's one of the most athletic players I've ever seen. And he's playing in this game, and he actually only has 7 points. He's not even the leading scorer for his Bearcats team, yet he's still trying to go make plays out there.
Diego Brown to look pass into the corner for Waters. Waters will run the lane, kick back out to Bernard. Bernard all alone, bricks the three though. And trying for the rebound one-handed is Welty. It's going to go out of bounds. Welty claims he was held. There's Jacoby Womack who made the three a second ago. That made this a 78-41 game. Ball will roll toward half court before Walker picks it up. Diego Bernard is another player that you could say Coach Ben McCullum poached from a high-profile basketball school, as he came right out of Lafayette High School from St. Joseph, Missouri, literally in the backyard of Missouri Western, and he chose to go a little further away to Maryville.
I do like, that just kind of tells you what kind of recruiting the Bearcats have. They have such a close eye on great athletes around where they are. They get these guys from around the country, but at the same time they find these tremendous athletes in the surrounding areas.
Walker for a 1-and-1, missed it. Rebound was by Lang. To Bernard now. He'll try to do some stick moves on Elliott. Lost the handle, but is able to run it down, get it back to Lang. Far side with Waters. Trying to set up Bernard. A couple of shimmy shakes. Step back behind the arc. He'll drive in. Wants to find somebody. 5 seconds. Northwest got to do something. Dreamer for three in front of his own bench. Good at the buzzer.
There it is. Discotheque three. Attaboy, Dreamer.
Bringing it back. Bell bottoms and headbands and all.
You believe it or not, the Boogie Nights reference was actually what I wanted to, but I was holding on to that so long I couldn't hold it in.
You got to do it, man.
I had to let it out.
Boogie Nights in an American classic.
Oh, yeah.
John Waters loses the handle, able to get some space, shot it up over Dreamer, but he missed it. Lang runs it down. Now we're at the discotheque. Would you rather listen to the Bee Gees or Earth, Wind & Fire?
Oh, I think I'm going Bee Gees. I don't know. It'd be a close one. It depends on, I don't know, what I'm wearing. Depends on the night of the week.
Let's say it's a Wednesday night, you're wearing orange bell-bottoms.
I might go Bee Gees on that one.
Foul on the floor. It's committed by A.J. Walker. Christian Edmondson and Ray Elliott will take a seat. Inbound, Lang for three. Good. Derek Lang buries the three. You see the joy from Trevor Hudgens there that some of the players who might not see the floor very often are performing to this level. Walker goes to his left. No reverse to his right. Driving the lane, circus layup, not there. Gibbons with the board and then the putback makes it 84-43. Northwest no longer doubling up Pittsburg State. 6:15 to go, and there's going to be a foul off ball. It should be against Walker. He was beat on the switch. And he just reached around and grabbed the waist of Hawkins.
It wasn't a terrible foul. Walker had a really good play on the ball. He just got there just a little bit too late.
And now foul against DeJohn Water, off ball. Didn't see what Waters did there, but that gives Pittsburg State 16 fouls. Dangerously close to putting Northwest in the bonus. Doherty guarded by Waters. Now we'll get it over to Lang. Lang with the lane, pump fake it, hand off to Bernard. Bernard underneath to Dreamer, and Dreamer lays it in.
That was an amazing pass by Bernard. Bernard flicked it through one hand, absolute speed. Didn't have his eyes on Dreamer, but was able to find him down low.
That just shows the faith and trust that this team has in each other, knowing that they're going to be at a spot when they say they're going to be. Foul on the floor is against Diego Bernard. That's the 10th team foul by Northwest. So Pittsburg State now shooting 2 free throws, being in the double bonus. Jacoby Womack, the one at the line.
I mean, I'm just looking at these stat lines for Bernard, Hudgens, and Hawkins. I mean, Hudgens obviously with 28 and 6, and then Hawkins with 23 and 9. But Bernard has 7.7 rebounds, or 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals and a block. That's a player where you look at and you just think, like, that's honestly one of those players where if you took him out of the starting lineup for this team would probably not be as smooth as they are now. He's a glue gun type player. He's a player that he's a leader and he knows what his role is and he does it perfectly well.
And the crazy thing, just like Hudgens, Bernard is just a sophomore. So this team never rebuilds, they just reload. Waters loses it, and both Waters and both Luke Waters, I should say, and DeJohn Waters go tumbling into the Northwest bench and running almost over Diego Bernard in the process. A good sportsmanship there by the Bearcats to help up DeJohn Waters.
Thought we were going to have ourselves a Donnybrook there, Shelby.
you want to have a Donnybrook? Let's go. Inbound there to Tyler Doherty, who's defended by Gibbons. He'll put it on the floor to try and get by Gibbons. Can't. He's going to turn around and hard shot off the backboard. That was a rocket out of his hand. Rebounded by Walkers. Up now to Drew Rolfs. Drew Rolfs gets it back to Xavier Womack. Xavier Womack can't get it. He'll pick up his own rebound, though, and then use the left hand to bank it in.
That's what he does. He's just a tough player. He can't get – whenever you find a player who misses his first shot, point-blank range, is able to chase down his own rebound and get it right back and earn his stripes right back, it's a great player.
Jay Richmond had the ball there a second ago. Now it is with Lang into the hands of Luke Waters. Luke Waters leading it in the corner from Doherty. Pass taken away by A.J. Walker. A.J. Walker going to draw some contact. No call, though, and lays it in. It's now 86-49.
You got to give it to the Gorillas. They're really resilient. They're trying to come back in this one as much as they can.
Left side with Lang. Defended by Rawls. Running the lane, layup up and down. Are they going to count it? They do, from Tyler Doherty. And that is against Antonio Gibbons, as Gibbons first. And that'll take us to the under 5 media timeout. The score, Northwest Missouri 88, Pittsburgh State 49. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more basketball here on the MIAA Network.
Life moves fast. In all the activity, we rarely stop to prepare for any curveballs. Imagine something terrible happening and not getting the right help because you don't have the proper insurance. That's where we come in. Wood Doolahary Insurance is here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. It costs the same to let us help you as it would cost to find your own insurance. And we don't use cookie-cutter plans. We find the proper plan for you. We are Wood Doolahary Insurance, helping you navigate a fast-paced life.
Back live here to Wetzel Court inside John Lance Arena. The score, Northwest Missouri State 88, Pittsburgh State 49. The Bearcats #1 team in the nation. There's their head coach, Ben McCullum. McCullum looking to repeat as not just MIAA champion, but also NCAA D2 champion, and pick up his third D2 championship in 4 years. Tyler Doherty at the free throw line, the 6'7" senior out of Atlantic, Iowa, and he makes the and one. It's now 89-49. Pittsburgh trailing by 40 now. Both teams are in the bonus, so depending on how these officials like to call it, this game could turn into an absolute mud show. Ball bounced around underneath the basket, eventually taken up by Xavier Womack. Womack gets it to fall through. It's now 89-51.
Leading scorer for the Gorillas with 14. He's actually only made 4 shots. Most of his points are coming from the free throw line. And
a great job there with the layup by Derek Lang. What you got 2-4? So now it's 91-51. 3:30 to go. And as the saying says, it's all over truly but the crying. Walker wants to get by Lang, but Lang's solid defensively, doesn't allow that. Errant pass goes off the left hand of Jacoby Womack and into the Pitt State bench, and Womack frustrated with that pass from Walker. Quickly up floor, it is in the hand of Richmond. Now back to Lang. Into the hands of Doherty, trying to go against Gibbons. What a move, spinning outside, got his own rebound, and then he's going to be fouled. I don't know if they're going to be Xavier Womack or Gibbons on that one. And they do give it on Gibbons, as Gibbons kind of went over the back of Doherty there. So at the line, once more, is Tyler Doherty. This time for 2. He makes the first. 8th team foul committed there by the Gorillas. And so this foul advantage that they have to possibly make this a game is no longer in effect. Diego Bernard there, as well as Ryan Welty, 2 of the 5 starters for Northwest, already on the bench to ride out the end of this game. And this is a tough thing to do as a coach, because you want your players to still play hard, but you also got to weigh the aggressiveness versus injury factor. Ball knocked out of bounds, last touched by Northwest.
Yeah, and you really took the words out of my mouth. There's really nothing the Gorillas can do at this point. You just try to finish out the game.
You see it a lot when it comes to football. You talk about garbage time stats. It's not often you really see it in a basketball game, but that's kind of what we're seeing here for Pittsburgh State. Good on them, though, for still playing hard. You see Walker there draw the foul and go to the line for 2. But still, they're also there's stats that they're just kind of padding for themselves.
Yeah, I think and you never want to see quit in a team. I think that's what the Gorillas trying to go for. They're trying to go for, this game might be over, but we're still playing, in front of our home crowd, and we're still going to give it our all as much as we can.
First free throw is good. Grant Harding will check in and replace Xavier Womack. So now A.J. Walker, Givens, and Jacoby Womack, the only starters for Pittsburgh out there. And you can see A.J. Walker checked out, replaced by Jalen Justice. There's not a whole lot more that Coach Anderson can do going to his bench. He's going to have at least 2 starters out there for the rest of the game. Richmond walks it forward. Now he'll pass it over to Dreamer. To Doherty. Once more to Richmond. Good job defensively there by the recently entered Harding, going against the much taller Waters. Playing strong. Waters will step back, bank it off the glass, no good. Loose ball picked up by Dreamer. He is just dreaming his life away.
No more 70s reference.
What's an 80s reference?
I know, but he's starting to look like Andre Kirilenko more than me. He has very AK-47 out there right now.
95-53 the score. Under 2 minutes now. Justice to Jacoby Womack for 3. Good. Makes it 95-56. 143, excuse me. All that remains in this game. This one basically in the books. Lang pulls up from 3, hit the front of the rim, and there's going to be an off-ball foul on the rebound. I think they're going to get Lang for going through Harding. Excuse me, actually it was going through Rolfs. So Drew Rolfs will head to the free throw line for a pair.
This is Drew Rolfs.
Drew Rolfs, a native of Pittsburgh. Redshirt freshman. 2 years ago as a senior for Pittsburgh High School. Hit a 3/4 court shot in the 5A Sub-State Championship to defeat St. Thomas Aquinas and send the Gorillas to the 5A State Tourney. The team was a very talented team with him, Marquis English, a very young Gavin Elkamil, and a recently entered high school, Javon Grant. Ended up getting 3rd place in 5A that year. Far side, it's Doherty. He's defended by Hollowell. Bounce pass it out to Lang. Lang pulls up from deep. Front of the rim, not there. Forward pulled down by Richmond. Jaron Richmond nearly loses it, but he'll hold on. And now Northwest really content to just play the keep away game and end this contest.
Yeah, you're going to see the shots they're taking obviously aren't going to be taken until the end of the shot clock. They're trying just to make this. I think they want this game to be over as soon as possible.
2 seconds, 3 pulled up, banked off the rim. Not there from Lang. Rebound by Jacoby Womack. He'll push the pace, kick it out in the corner. Drew Rolfs, pump fake 3, not there. Back to Womack in the middle of the lane, gets some space. One-handed shot, looking for a call, but the whistles for all officials I think are going to be swallowed for this last 30 seconds when it doesn't matter. 95-60 the score. Lang runs the lane. Now he'll stop, kick it out. 3 pulled up by Doherty, not there. Harding will pull it down. Quickly up floor to Justice, 21 seconds. Harding deep, nearly at the volleyball line, can't get it. Ball pulled down by Dreamer. 15 seconds to go, and you can see Coach Anderson and Coach McCollum there at the scores table shaking hands. Ball walked into the front court, 7 seconds to go, and that's it. This game is over. Waiting for the final buzzer, and there it is. Coach Anderson, Coach McCollum sharing some words as they talk about this final where the Bearcats win 95-60. And we'll step aside for a brief break, come back with final stats and final thoughts. Back after this on the MIAA Network.
Jock Snook Sporting Goods in downtown Pittsburgh is a proud supporter of Pitt State Athletics and Caps 13. Check out our Adidas gear, the official apparel of PSU Athletics. Pitt State students, faculty, and staff can save up to 40% on all Adidas items. PSU students also get 10% off all non-Adidas gear. Serving the Pittsburgh area since 1979, Jock Snook Sporting Goods is the go-to place to support your local high school, college, and professional teams. Gear up for game day at the Niche. Jock Snook Sporting Goods, your sports look of today.
Welcome back for the final time here to Wetzel Court inside John Lance Arena. The Northwest Missouri State Bearcats, the #1 team in the nation, defeat the Pittsburgh State Girls by a score of 95-60. We'll go ahead and get you the final stats. The Bearcats committed 10 team fouls, Pittsburgh State only 8. Northwest out-rebounding the girls 37-29. And you see it right there, the efficiency that the Bearcats have, 36 of 58 compared to just 20 of 59 for Pittsburgh State.
You don't see teams shoot 60% from the field that often as a team. It's just not a normal stat you see. Along with, some of the other ones, 20 team assists combated with 5 for the Gorillas. Gorillas could not share the ball around, 26 points off the bench.
And you see that, and that just shows what this is a team. This is not just a single person. Yeah, we were talking about Trevor Hudgens and Ryan Hawkins all day, but this is not a singular player. It's not a duo. It is a team, and it was evidenced right there. So that's going to do it for us here at Wetzel Court inside John Lance Arena. A special thanks to everyone on our Caps 13 crew, camera operators, Pride Leggings, Caleb Withnow, Jason Knowles, our producer, director, and executive producer, Dr. Troy Como, replay operator, Mark Thompson, our scorebug operator, Kate White, and for my color commentator, Tyler Godwin, I have been Shelby White. Thank you very much and have a great Valentine's Day weekend, everybody.
I had no idea you did that.
We hear that a lot. You probably know that CDL is #1 in electrical services for your home and business. But we do so much more, like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs and banners. So now you know. CDL is one company with so many solutions for your home or business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.